everybody, happy Monday. This is McLean Warren coming at you from Liaison Marketing. Today I thought I would discuss a very common topic that is often asked of me and I see inquired about in a lot of the Amazon Facebook forums. So that question would be, should I have my listing professionally optimized? And if so, who do I hire and how do I know to trust them? And it's a very legitimate, valid question. And it can also involve a very convoluted answer. But the short answer is yes, you should probably always get your listing professionally optimized. It's kind of like having a wedding and not paying for a professional photographer. At the end of the day, it's worth it to spend an extra few hundred or whatever they're charging to make sure that it is, and by it, I mean your listing is as beautiful and amazing as possible. But with that being said, just because someone says they're a professional doesn't mean that they're going to give you the kind of results you want. So what the real question becomes is, how do I decide who is professional and high quality and intelligent enough to be able to do my listing, and how do I figure out who that would be other than word of mouth? So at the end of the day, you really don't know who is good and who isn't good until your product has been optimized, it is up, and you start to see results, or you don't see results. That's really the only way you will officially know if that person has optimized it properly, or if they at least played a role in the success of your company. That all being said, there are certain things to look for when hiring a professional marketing company, or even if you go on Fiverr or Upwork or wherever you're going to find someone to write your listing. And what should be happening is that the person or the company that's doing your optimization should be requesting 3 things from you. And those 3 things are PPC, the direction and target audience that you're going for, and your Seller Central managed inventory fields. If they are not asking you for these things, then you should probably run like hell, because they are not going to do a quality job. That all being said, I realize that new sellers are not going to have a lot of this information. So this video is geared more toward veteran sellers that have been out for a while, and maybe your sales have tanked or not been doing as well, or maybe you just want a fresh listing because it's been a while. Whatever your purpose is, this video is really geared more toward people that have already been live on Amazon. But if you're a new seller, you could still probably take away some valid talking points. So let's start with the PPC part. The reason that it's really important that the company you hire asks for your PPC reports is because your sponsored ads and how well certain terms do tells us, if you're hiring us or whoever you decide to hire, it tells us what works and what doesn't. And so what we do is we take these reports and we look through your click-through rates, and we look at how well those are doing and high those click-through rate values are. And if they're high and it looks like certain phrases or key terms you're going after are doing really well, then what a good listing optimization team will do is add those phrases into your copy. The other thing they do is they should be looking at what terms from your pay-per-click have moved to organic search, because that does happen at a tipping point. If after a while Amazon decides that a certain search term that you're going after through sponsored ads is doing incredibly well, it can switch over to organic, which means those terms really should be in your optimization if they aren't already. Okay, so that's the first thing that you should be asking you is for your PPC reports. If you don't have them, this conversation's null and void. If you do have them, they should be asking for them. Second part is direction and target audience. Now, this is not necessarily an all or nothing black and white response. This is more of a personal thing that I have found through my years in this field. And that is that if you don't have a distinct direction of where your product is going and who you're targeting, then the listing optimization team isn't going to be able to write really good persuasive sales content, and they're not going to be able to use valuable keywords that are really going to help you rank well. For example, if you have Epsom salt, Epsom salt can be used for a whole host of things, right? And if you plug those into the product classifier tool, just Epsom salt, there are at least 15 categories that Amazon will allow you to be in. And those category nodes go all the way from athlete's foot to pregnant women to children to elderly people with fissures and hemorrhoids, okay? So it's not to say that your listing can't necessarily have all that stuff in it, but what happens is when you try to put all of those audience members into one listing, it dilutes the value of it. And you actually end up all over the place. And the category node you're in, the value of those keywords becomes diluted as well if the keywords aren't specific to that category node. So it's really important that you have a very specific idea of who you're targeting, who your demographic is, and make sure that the listing optimization team knows that, because they need to write content that is going to sell that particular demographic on that stuff, and that the content will be keyword rich with phrases specific to that category node. The third part, and this is near and dear to my heart, and I sound like a parakeet because I am always talking about this, but it's really, really, really important that if you have been on Amazon selling, that the team that you hire or the individual you hire knows what is in your back end. And of course, we can all giggle and laugh because we always like to check out people's back ends. But in all seriousness, what I mean by that is in your Seller Central fields under Manage Inventory, it's really important that you are optimized to the most of your potential and that it just fill out correctly. I can't even tell you how many people's back ends, insert joke here, I have seen that are just not properly filled out, or they're not optimized for keywords, or there are more details pages, the fields aren't filled out, which means that they're cataloged incorrectly or won't show up in a lot of catalogs on the front side facing side of Amazon. So it's really important that whoever you decide to hire, if you do go for a professional team to optimize your listing, they are asking you and requesting those 3 pieces of information, because if they aren't, they are not doing their jobs fully. It would be like going to a mechanic because your car's making a noise and for the mechanic to only check out part of your engine. It makes no sense for an optimization team to look at just the front-facing side of Amazon in your listing and say, oh, this is what we need to change and this is how we're going to do it. No. They need to see the entire story. They need to see the back end, the front end. They need to see how all of the pieces fit together, just like you would if you took your car to a mechanic. It's the same deal. You have to see the big picture in order to know what exactly is wrong. So that's my advice, my Monday advice for today. I'm sorry if I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but it is something I'm really passionate about, because you as a seller deserve the best, and you deserve people that are really paying attention and that are really going to give you top quality work that will help you rank well and get you on page 1. And if they're only doing a half-assed job, you're not going to get that. And as someone who is in this field, as someone that owns my own marketing team, it is really passionate to me that people understand that. So with that being said, best of luck to all of my sellers out there. I wish you nothing but success, and whoever you decide to hire, I hope that you get the attention and the professionalism you deserve. You're welcome to contact me at mw@liaison.marketing or check us out at liaison.marketing. Thank you so much. Have a good day.